Pasta with garlic and olive oil has got to be one of the fastest meals you can make. It's pasta with garlic and olive oil and lots of Parmesan cheese. After a really busy day testing recipes, that's what I love to make. In fact, a lot of chefs call it midnight spaghetti because they make it at midnight. So the first thing I need is lots of garlic. So I've got 8 cloves of garlic. I know it sounds like a lot for a pound of pasta, but it's really worth it. And when garlic cooks, actually in the olive oil, it actually gets a little bit sweet. So I'm just gonna slice them. The proper name of this is what Italians call Spaghetti Aglio E Olio. And I'm sure my Italian accent's just terrible, but that's basically it. It actually means spaghetti with olive oil and garlic. It sounds much more exotic though. So, 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. It's actually quite a bit, because the garlic's gonna sort of simmer in it. 8 cloves of garlic, thinly sliced, right into the oil. Okay, that's just gonna cook for about 2 minutes, just until it starts to color but not brown. You don't want it burnt. Okay, next is, I like a little heat in this, so I'm gonna put about 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes in. You can make it as hot or not hot as you like. So this is the curious thing about this recipe, is I'm gonna add 1½ cups of pasta water. While the pasta was boiling, I actually reserved some of the pasta water. So it's hot and it's got a little bit of that starch in it. And what it's gonna do is really moisten and thicken this pasta. Teaspoon of salt. You can always add more salt later. And this can cook away for about 5 minutes, and the garlic is gonna get really tender, and the sauce is gonna be delicious. In the meantime, I need fresh parsley. I need about 1/2 cup of fresh parsley. Okay, that's the chopped parsley. Wait till you see how fast this is. Got the pasta. I'm just gonna add it to the sauce, right into the pan. And all this pasta is gonna absorb the garlic and the olive oil. Just let it cook together, just for a few minutes. So this is just 1 pound of pasta, spaghetti. I cooked it according to the package, which is about 12 minutes for this kind of pasta. And as this sits in the pasta water with the garlic, it just really absorbs all the flavors, the salt and the red pepper and all of that sweet garlic. You can really see it's being absorbed. Okay, about 1/2 cup of good parsley and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. I mean, that's gotta be good. And just toss it all together, and that's what's known as midnight spaghetti, pasta with garlic and olive oil. This smells so amazing. What a great dinner this is. A little bit of parsley, a little Parmesan. I'm starting with a big roasting chicken. First thing I want to do is salt and pepper the inside of the cavity. I've already washed and patted it dry. Lots of salt inside to give it lots of flavor. And lots of pepper. I want this to have great flavor. And I'm gonna take a whole head of garlic. I'm not even gonna peel it. Just cut it right in half. And all that garlic flavor just gets right into the chicken. It's gonna be delicious. And the next thing I'm gonna do is lemons, because I love the way lemon tastes in chicken. So I'm just gonna quarter this and put that right into the chicken, just that way. And then some fresh thyme, big sprig of fresh thyme right in the middle. All this is really just to give the chicken more flavor as it roasts. If you have other herbs around, like oregano or rosemary or something like that, you can also use that, but I particularly like thyme. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to truss a chicken. It's really simple. Just wanna do 2 things. I'm gonna tie the legs together, with a little bit of kitchen string. Just tie these guys together. This is really about making sure that the chicken cooks evenly. If the legs are flapping around in the pan, they're gonna cook faster than the rest of the chicken. And the wings are the same thing. You don't want them flapping around in the pan. So what you wanna do is just turn them backwards and tuck them right underneath the body of the chicken. And it keeps them close. Just like that. I'm just gonna brush the whole top with butter, just to make sure that it has lots of flavor and that it browns really nicely in the pan. Then I'm going to sprinkle it with lots of salt and pepper. And now comes the surprising part. I'm going to put strips of bacon over the top, which is gonna actually give it lots of flavor. And then later, I'm gonna crumble the crisp bacon into the salad. So it's gonna be a combination of dishes. This is the usual Friday night chicken, but dressed up for company. Now, I'm gonna add more flavor to the sauce too by putting in garlic in the pan. Another whole head of garlic, just cut right in half. I'm gonna roast it in the pan. And then the juices from the chicken are gonna make a sauce with the garlic. And I think I'll put in 2 lemons. So these are the flavors in the chicken, but it's also gonna add to the sauce. Cut off the ends, and then just cut it in half and do big wedges. And you'll see the lemon is gonna brown, and it's gonna have great flavor right in the sauce. Just right in the pan, sort of instead of vegetables. Okay, so I think it's all ready. 425 degrees for about an hour and 15 minutes. And before it's done, I'm gonna take the bacon off so the chicken browns really nicely. Baked cod with garlic and herb Ritz crumbs. So I've got 4 center cut cod fillets. I like cod because it's kind of a meaty fish, but they're center cut because if you choose the end, it's gonna be thin and they won't cook evenly. So 4 center cut cod fillets. I brush the bottom with olive oil, put the cod on top. I'm gonna brush the top with olive oil, and that way they're just gonna brown really nicely. You don't want something that's gonna flake too much because it just doesn't have the same kind of substance to it. So olive oil, lots of salt and pepper. You want it to be really well seasoned, and some pepper. Okay, into the oven, 400 degrees for just 10 minutes. Okay, now for the topping. So I'm starting with Ritz crackers. Bet you didn't think I'd be cooking with those, but they're really buttery and they have lots of flavor. So I'm taking about 15 Ritz crackers, crumbling them up. I need cracker crumbs. Just break them up into the food processor. This is retro food, but made more modern. I really like the salty, kind of buttery thing going with the fish. Okay, that's about a half a cup of Ritz cracker crumbs. If I can get it off. Right into a bowl. And to that, I'm gonna add half a cup of panko crumbs and make it really crunchy. 2 tablespoons of minced parsley. 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Give it lots of flavor. And some melted butter. Just pour it over. And this is gonna make it brown and delicious, because butter makes everything better, right? You always want some kind of oil or butter on the panko. Panko is actually Japanese bread flakes, and it's really popular now, and you can find it in any grocery store. I don't know what we did without it 10 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna add some lemon zest to give it kind of a nice edge. About a teaspoon. Let's see. I always do it right over the thing that I'm zesting it into because it really catches the oils. Much more flavor. More flavor in the zest than in the juice, but we'll use the juice later. Okay, that should be about a teaspoon. Some salt. Give it a stir. As I said, baked fish can be kind of boring. It's this crumb topping that really gives it so much flavor. Actually, not only is it crumb topping, but it becomes part of the sauce. Okay, the first stage of the fish should be done in the oven. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna add about a quarter of a cup of dry white wine, and I'm gonna pour it actually directly on the fillets so the flavor really gets into the fillets. Just like that. A couple of tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, right on the fillets. Try and catch the seeds in your hand. And then I'm gonna put the crumbs directly onto the fillets. Just pile them on. If some of them fall into the dish, it's not a problem because they'll really get incorporated in the sauce and flavor the sauce as well. It's a lot of crumbs, but it really gives the whole thing a lot of flavor. I think fish can be kind of scary to cook because you always think you're gonna overcook it. But if you have fillets that are all the same thickness and they cook evenly, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, back into the oven, 400 degrees for exactly 12 minutes. It's gonna be so good. So the fish should be ready. Oh, this looks great. See how it makes crispy topping and also really nice sauce. I love the way it looks. I love the way it tastes. And you can see that the sauce is kind of thickened by the panko and the Ritz crackers. Yum. So we'll just do a little lemon in the dish. One of the great things about this dish is the dish goes right to the table. Don't need to put it on a platter or anything. I just like to serve it with extra lemon though. Just put it right in the dish. People can help themselves. I just need a little taste because it looks so good. Think anybody missed this little corner? Crispy crumbs, garlic and herbs, white wine and lemon sauce. This looks so good. The garlic and the herbs and the lemon and wine. Nothing boring about this fish dish. Everybody's gonna love it. Several years ago, I discovered that roasting shrimp for shrimp cocktail was so much better than boiling it. And I thought, well, if I can roast it for shrimp cocktail, maybe I can do a dinner like that. So I came up with garlic and herb roast shrimp. So first I need some butter. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is really the sauce. And then, if I'm gonna call it garlic and herb roast shrimp, it's gonna have a lot of garlic. It's got 2 tablespoons of garlic in it. I don't wanna cook this too long because I don't want the garlic to overcook. 2 teaspoons of rosemary, which is unusual for shrimp, but it's really good. A little pinch of hot pepper flakes. This is a great weeknight dinner because it doesn't take long to put together. 1 teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm just gonna cook that for literally a minute, just until you can smell the fragrance of the garlic. It's fantastic. So that's the sauce. I'm gonna turn off the heat. This dish has lots of lemon in it. I've got lemon zest, lemon juice, and sliced lemons. So first I'm gonna zest a whole lemon right into the sauce. I love the way the heat really brings out the lemon flavor. That's the zest. So next is the shrimp, and I've got really big shrimp. They're 10 to 12 count, which means that there are 10 to 12 shrimp in each pound. They're huge. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this entire sauce over the shrimp. This is a great dish because not only am I gonna bake it in this pan, but in fact, I'm gonna serve it in the pan too. I'm gonna get all of the herbs and the garlic and everything right into this pan. And then to add to the lemon flavor, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this lemon that I've just zested and slice it and put the slices in between the shrimp and it'll all bake together. And I serve it with crusty bread and maybe some kind of a roasted vegetable. So what I did was I arranged the shrimp in a concentric circle with their little tails up. And I've got shrimp that have the tails still on, just because I think it looks better. So this is gonna roast 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. That's pretty fast, right? And I just happen to have one that's coming right out of the oven now. How beautiful is that? I'm just gonna give it another little squeeze of lemon juice. I love when the warm shrimp absorbs the lemon. And I would say, dinner doesn't get any faster than that. These are the easiest potatoes in the world. I think I've made more garlic roasted potatoes than every other vegetable combined. I start with red potatoes, but you can really use any kind of thin-skinned potato. Maybe about 2 pounds. If they're big potatoes, I'll cut them in quarters. If they're small potatoes, I'll cut them in half. Okay, a little olive oil, just drizzle it on. Coarse salt. I use kosher salt, but you can use sea salt or any kind of salt you have around. Lots of fresh pepper, give it a little spice. Now the secret to my potatoes. Really good garlic. I was trying to find garlic that's very firm like this. It doesn't have a big sprout on it. You don't want to plant in your potatoes. You want a really good garlic. Peel 6 cloves of garlic. There's a lot of garlic in this meal, but when you cook garlic for a long time, it becomes really sweet. So it's not going to be too garlicky a meal. Now the easiest way I find to chop garlic is just to leave the tip of the blade on the board and run the knife back and forth and really let the blade do the work. Okay, go. Lots of garlic. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to use my hands to mix up the olive oil, salt I've already put on it, the pepper. Okay, into the oven. 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. Oh, these are the garlic roasted potatoes, and they are seriously garlic. They're all crisp on the outside and delicious inside. It's like a the entire kitchen. Hi, sweetie.
Ooh, that looks great.
That look good.
That looks great.
What you
Can I grab this right now?
What you've been dreaming of all the way home?
You want some wine?
And I'd love some wine. That'd be fabulous.